Recording now. Good to see you this evening. Hopefully you can see me. I like the bow tie. I'm going to share screen too. Okay.
Oh, listen.
Doing okay over there? Can you hear okay? Anybody?
I can't hear you.
You can or can't? Come out.
Hello?
Hello? Is that better?
I'm sorry. I'm having trouble hearing you right now. But that's on my side.
Okay. So you think my volume's right?
I think it's on my side.
Okay.
I'm trying to change devices now.
I can hear you perfectly.
You stop being grown. Being grown. Yeah. Oh.
He's too young.
Yeah.
You find yours all right? I'm ready to test when you are. If you're listening to this post-conference, you may want to skip forward to the next 6-7 minutes before we really get started. I'm always afraid if I don't hit record, I'll be in trouble. Well, I like that better. Again, testing to see if anyone can hear me. Can't hear you. How about 4 minutes? I can hear a voice a little bit, but not much.
No. Back over here. Back over here.
No.
Too many people out. No.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Ah, you're in 2 places at once.
Yeah, look here. I'm laying on.
Can you hear me on your new device? Huh?
Okay, you probably gonna need to mute me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I'm at a field where there's a park and everything around, so you're probably gonna need to mute me.
Okay, you watching football again tonight?
No, I'm trying to be a student and a father. So I'm out here, with my son with this football game, and I'm somewhere at the park on the park bench looking at my computer.
Well, I want you to stay close to your son through all this. So I will grant your wish. I'm going to mute you, even though you're one of my best discussers. But you can always wave at me or something if you need. Okay?
Thank
You're
you.
muted. Still got 3 minutes till start time.
Okay, good.
Wait, I could still hear you even though you were muted.
Oh, you can still hear me?
Yeah, I can. Oh, yeah, I can not only hear
You
you.
know why? I think because I signed on with my phone.
See, I got you in two places. I got two pictures of you here.
That's what it is. I signed on with my phone. Let me see if I can get.
Oh, lots of feedback.
Can you hear me now? Oh,
Yep, sure can. Hello, Libra.
Hey there, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me without too much reverb or extra noise?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Thank you. We'll get started in a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay.
You're down the road to about getting finished, aren't you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Not quite.
I'll lose track of you. We're close. We're good. Once you hit SIAP, you'll speed way up.
Okay.
$5:59 by the official count. So we'll take another minute and then we'll get started. It's another little test. Now, according to my instructions, we're on a split screen and you can see the weekly schedule. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. I want to make sure I was talking about what you could actually see. So it's 6. So again, because I try to promise y'all to hold to 30 minutes and start on time, okay? Looking at the weekly schedule, we're on week 6. We're going to finish up the AP interview tonight, and then we're going to talk a little bit about situational leadership and all of its facets. This week, your reading is posted. Discussion boards are there. Remember, 1 out of the 2. You're supposed to be uploading the sign-up task 1 this week. If you're not, do not be freaked out. This is a very aggressive schedule to get finished. I do suggest that you set the discussion boards aside and finish out the sign-up before you do anything else. Remember, you can get information on how to do the sign-up, what to use, what to cut and paste with in the intern materials in your Blackboard shell. And in there, there's a for sign-up, and it's pretty good. I'm able to just follow it and score off whether you've got the right elements or not pretty easily. Any questions about what we're going to do? Okay, looking ahead for the very near future, next week we're going to talk a little bit about motivation theory. We're going to start on adult learners and Harold Knowles. We're going to do that for a couple of weeks because everything I read in leadership, it's really all about the people that you're developing. We've done more than just talk about 4 pillars, which is, and that'll take us into fall break, which should be a good place to be. Okay. Everybody getting dry from the big storm, or are we still battling stuff? I know I spent the weekend taking furniture out of a family place in Wrightsville Beach, and that was a lot of fun. We're going to be out of here for 8 months. Can't complain too much. I mean, it's a second home. It's not my home like so many people have been affected. If you have been affected and it looks like it's going to really mess up your work schedule, be sure and let me know that so I can share that with Dr. Lamb too. Okay. Let's cut this off and get back to.
One question.
Yes, sir.
The question that was about the interview questions. Are we supposed to answer, or are we supposed to interview an actual admin on the site?
You want to interview an actual admin.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because that's where the surprises come from. And then I'm using the same questionnaires as kind of a pre-post measure of where you are and what you're thinking about and what you might be surprised about too. But yeah, you want to interview. Ooh, someone's got a lot of noise. Anyway, you want to actually interview an acting AP. And what I wish we did to begin with an acting principal, because the differences in being an assistant principal and a principal are huge, and they have their own set of questions as it is. Okay. Going back to the administrative interview, we got to page 9, I believe. Talked about your greatest professional challenge as a Mels student and anything you've learned from it, which is mostly about timing, of course. Okay, let's take a look at this one. How do you motivate others to follow your leadership? I'm a relationship builder. If I don't have relationships, I can't get anybody to follow me anywhere. You may have other ways, but in your current position as teacher or other member of the staff, what do you do to motivate others to follow your leadership? What are some of your techniques?
Well, I'll go ahead and start. I think one of the best ways you can motivate somebody to follow your leadership is to serve first. You know, you're the chief leader, so you're also the chief servant. And when people see that you're willing to serve and you're willing to do what needs to be done to meet those initiatives, and you're not being bossy about it, and you actually show that you're caring, you're being a chief servant, I think people are willing to follow you there.
Yep, they call that servant leadership, and it's not something we really touch on in this course. But being as someone who's one of the regular folks can be extremely important. If you've never been in elementary school, the first week of school, when you're trying to teach all the kids how to hold a tray and how to go through the line, you haven't lived. And that's one place the principal, assistant principal, you as a staff member need to be there and doing that kind of nasty, messy work to be seen as part of the effort. What are other ways you use to motivate others to follow your leadership? That's a good one. Any others? Can't get this one to unmute. Any other thoughts? How do you get people? How do you motivate people to follow your leadership?
I think if you find something that they're interested in or something that would benefit them, I think they'll be more likely to follow your leadership if they can see, what the outcome would be for them, the positive outcome for them.
Okay, tell me more about that. What exactly do you mean, something that's for them? What might be an example?
Well, I mean, if maybe if you highlight something that that would benefit their classroom, their instruction, or like something that a new teaching strategy, or something that they've been wanting to do with technology in their classroom, for example. Like if you are open to, or if your plan is more in line with the things that they want to do or the things that they feel would benefit them in and out of the classroom, then I think you would get more buy-in in that way.
Okay, fair enough. Definitely. Yeah, people are certainly more willing to do things when there's something in it for themselves. Says something a little bit about all of us, I guess. Any other thoughts? How do you motivate others to follow your leadership as a member of staff? You don't have positional power. You only have personal power. What do you use? Well, let me go back to the Teacher of the Year, great principle. You let people know they're doing well, and you tell them that fairly often. That helps. Let's move forward. 10. What online resources do you use? Now, see, y'all know way more about this than I do, so I need to hear from you, because my one online resource is I finally worked Zoom halfway decently. So what else do you use to make your job more efficient? I know a lot of you use Google Docs, which won't work on my computer, unfortunately. Any others? This is going to be one that if I were your intern supervisor, I would push you to learn more about whatever is used in your school to follow up on discipline, for scheduling classes, and for ordering materials and books, so that you know the technical part of the job. Okay. Finally, you're not really a person who can delegate and empower at your school as a teacher, but maybe. Where do you have opportunities to do that, to make your team feel like a team?
I don't want to like it. I don't know you yet. Okay. Okay, baby.
I'm getting all kinds of conversations, some of which involve empowering others at school. Anybody got any ways that you empower at school?
Take on leadership positions as a teacher.
Yep. And then what do you do once you get in one?
Include others in on the decision making, keep them in the loop about information pertaining to the school processes and all of those things, like in meetings and whatnot.
And take the leap of faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to take the leap of faith that these people that are on your committee or your team or your PLC or whatever will be as interested, or at least nearly as interested as you are, and will put in the same kind of efforts. And that can be a difficult thing for folks, but you got to take the leap of faith. Any questions about the AP interview? I've been real interested in the ones you've turned in, because they're so full of truth. Because the first thing that happens as an AP is you get absolutely swarmed by discipline. It's almost like a hazing thing that teachers do to you as a new AP, is to see, everybody's going to the office now, and we're going to see how you handle it. And that's step one. And that really determines on how the kinds of things that follow on to you after that. But the one thing I can guarantee you is you will not have enough time to do everything you think you need to do. So be able to prioritize and be able to take your to-do list that you make out every morning and wad it up and throw it in the trash can when the time comes that you can't keep up with it, which will be almost every day, unfortunately. In fact, I stopped doing to-do lists for exactly that reason. I had other people who had them who would pester me about doing them, but it was just a waste of time to even try. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Let's step in on this week then. This is situational leadership. And we read about it a lot in our reading in Hersey and Blanchard. And it's fairly straightforward and simple, but since it is something that was actually part of the very first Mels program, and some of the backup writing, if you see Uri's name, EURY, in some of the follow-up articles to situational leadership, he's one of the founders of our Mels program. The key to situational leadership is flexibility. To do it correctly, you got to believe that no one leadership style fits everything and everyone in every situation, which I think is pretty obvious. I mean, there's times when you just have to stomp and say this is how we're going to do it, and there's other times that that you're better off not stomping and saying this is how we're going to do it, and empowering your teachers to help you figure out how you're going to do it. But it all changes in situational leadership according to the knowledge and skills of the followers. And I add on and the leader because when you start, yeah, you have a master's degree or a master's level certification in admin, but there's a whole lot you don't know. There's a whole lot I didn't know after 14 years and retiring. There were still things that I would have maybe based decisions on that were either good or bad. Sometimes you have to pay attention to the task, and sometimes you have to pay attention to the relationships. It's all according to the situation. If it's an opportunity to empower, you're talking relationships. If it's something that needs to be done hard and fast and doesn't really invite a lot of discussion, say a district initiative with a demand, then you just say it and move forward. Hersey and Blanchard talk about developmental leaders, and that's the competence of both you and your followers, both your knowledge and your skills, how do you get things done, and also the commitment of the followers and the leaders. How are they motivated? How confident are they in their skills? How confident they are in you? And all those things go into this mix. Now, you're sitting here thinking, okay, you just said you got to throw away your to-do list every day. How then every time does something come up that you're supposed to be figuring out the competency and commitment of the followers and leaders and put it into some kind of graph so you know how to do it? Well, the answer is you don't, because you don't have time, because you threw away your to-do list. So what you do have to do is practice so that it comes to you just like walking down the hallway or getting in the car at the end of the day, so that when you start making decisions, you don't necessarily have to classify them, but you have to feel your way through. Is this the time to empower? Does my staff know enough to be able to move forward with this? Are we committed to it well enough? What exactly can we do? 4 developmental levels. There's the low competence, high commitment. These are the people who lack ability, but they're committed to the cause. Now, I'm gonna tell school stories tonight. I was principal of Martin Luther King Jr. I opened Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School in Charlotte-Mecklenburg Middle School in a less than desirable part of town to live. We had a lot of people who were incredibly committed to our jobs at our school. If for nothing else, for the name of the school, I mean, it was really impressive the way people felt about that. But we had a lot of people who lacked ability to deal with the students, to deal with their home lives, to deal with them in class. to say that we were behaviorally challenged would be a massive understatement. Now, the next developmental level is some competence but low commitment. I didn't have that. I had some people do some crazy stuff, and I had some people with only some abilities, but I didn't have anybody who had low commitment to the cause to make them lose desire quickly. Now, I had some that lost their brains quickly, but not their commitment. The second part, moderate competence, variable commitment. Any staff that you have has got variable commitment. I mean, some people are totally into what you're doing, and some people are there for a paycheck. You have a variety of skills and abilities, but they may lack confidence in whether or not they can do that. And that happens. That's one reason people leave behaviorally challenged schools so frequently, is they lack confidence that they can deal with it and make it work for the kids. Next is what you hope to have with everybody: high competency and high commitment, high level of skill, high competence to be able to use those skills and able to work independently. And if you remember way back to I think it was Todd Whitaker, we talked about getting the right people on the bus. And this is a place. This is the crossroads of where the trouble comes, because it's 2 days before school starts and you don't have an 8th grade math teacher. And you're faced with the situation of either I'm going to have to double up classrooms or pull in my AP to teach the class, some kind of taped together scenario where I can hire this guy who I know lacks skills, and I suspect isn't going to get any better at them. And I suspect lacks confidence in what we're doing here in the first place. It's just looking for a job. I've hired people in that situation. I think it was a shame I did, frankly, and I hope that when it's your turn, you'll find some way to hold on and wait for the right person who comes with the highest skill and the ability to work independently. It's hard to fill the staff of a school in a challenged neighborhood. So you can end up with a lot of inexperienced people who mean well, who want to do well, but have a hard time with the competence part of the job. 4 categories of leadership style. This is what the situation is. Number 1, direction. Tell others what to do. There's no committee on hall duty. You need people here, you need people here, you need people here, you tell them where they go. Then there's coaching, and that's when you're selling what you're trying to figure out. You got to explain why. You ask for input. You work their way through getting better, but you have to be involved for sure. The other 2, 4 categories of leadership style. You support, and that's where we participate. We actually spend some time in class, or we spend some time in a PLC meeting making things better. We share our own experience and we work together with our followers. And then the ultimate, where we really want to be, is delegating, empowering the follower to make independent decisions. So, you might want to say, I just want to know, so when mom calls up, is all upset with me, I know what happened, but I trust in what you're doing and why you're doing it. And all I want to know is what you did, just from my own background. But I'm not going to tell you what to do, because you have the skills and the competence and the commitment to do the right thing. Make sense? All right. So in effective leadership, you match those leadership styles with the follower's readiness, both competence and commitment. You have to implement, you have to identify the job to be done. I said hall duty earlier. So you assess the competence commitment level. That's pretty easy. So I've had some back up. And then you match your leadership style to the readiness of the follower. all how we're going to teach fifth grade reading this year. That's where you want people making decisions. Questions? How does situational leadership, how does this style relate to our studies of what makes a great principal? Attach that to anything you read or heard about Jim Collins, Good to Great, what makes a great principals, and the teacher of what makes a great principal. How does situational leadership apply?
Dr. Robinson, there is a ton of feedback. I can't hear anything you're saying. I think maybe somebody's mic is not muted. I believe it's Patricia's.
Aha!
Thank you.
Now I got to start over. I just made Patricia shut up. No, you've been able to see, so you can read as well as I can. What is situational leadership? How does it relate to our studies of what makes a great principal? Can you attach it to anything from good to great, what great principals do differently, or what makes a great principal, the first three things that we did this year or this semester? How does situational leadership apply to those? How does situational leadership apply to any of those things that we've studied so far this semester? Well, let me be a little more specific. How does it apply to getting the right people on the bus? What do you need to consider when trying to get the right people on the bus? Because honestly, if you can get the right people on the bus and keep them on the bus for a few years and get them to help others get on the bus and stay for a while, you will be successful as long as your bus is going in the right direction. Now, if you're going in the wrong direction, I can't help you. Any comments? Okay. I want you guys to be thinking about your total philosophy as a principal, what's important to you, your own mission, your own vision, and be thinking of the way these big picture theories work or don't work with your view of the world and the education profession. Do I have any questions before I go tonight? Okay. I do want to remind you that it's time to start SIAP. If you're running behind, set your discussion boards to the side. It doesn't matter to me if they're late. I would rather you be on time with your evidence work because that's what gets held up at the end of a semester. And you guys are at a point where you can't get held up at the end of the semester. You need to move forward. So concentrate on those. I'll get them read and sent back to you as quick as possible. Also highly recommend that you get Dr. Whitaker to read through them too, just so that you have two pairs of eyes looking for possible mistakes or things that you didn't touch on. Okay? Okay.
So Dr. Robinson, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. So we submit the PSYOP to the Dropbox and we don't review it on discussion board?
Yeah, there's not a place for it, but I should have seen SIAP 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you get to the whole one. Isn't that right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Doesn't it go in as SIOP 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you do the whole evidence and turn it in?
Well, it's 6 of them, but I don't see anywhere to submit them for like peer review on Blackboard, except for the Dropbox.
Well, let's see what we can find. This may take a minute.
No problem.
Okay.
Because you know how you had the CAP 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the discussion board. There's no place to submit the PSYOP task.
Oh, where did it go? Oh, I can't believe I just did that. This will take a minute.
No problem.
I bet there. Does that work?
Okay. I
So,
see it.
no, it makes no sense. I agree with you that the others are under discussions and these are under the task assignment Dropbox, but it's on the left.
Okay.
It's right above the start of the weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. Yeah, I did see that. Deidre was telling me that I didn't have to review the PSYOP, and I guess I must have forgot that.
Yeah, there's no reason to review it because it's
Gotcha.
really basically a cut and paste.
Okay.
Remember the intern materials here. Has the PSYOP final evidence template here. You cannot go wrong if you follow this, okay? Tells you what you need to put in and you're ready to move forward. Any other questions? Okay, in that case, I hope everybody has a great evening and I will see you next week. We'll start talking about theories of motivation and also adult learners and how to help your staff develop their day. Okay, now I just have to find the end meeting button. No. You're just very popular now. Good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank you. There it is.